She's going the agenda like the behavior, we can allow him to read this here. Then have, all this really here. Start with love companies and so mostly one really fair. Find a service that is to see if you would. Well, it's your name, but I think this story is wonderful. We found a way to work together. It's a real, yes. These things were all spent working on the Filipino city. The streams and how much was pitching. So, tons of buildings already in China and one of this is it's turned out of the people around the state of Slough, city time. This is one thing I actually first spotted in the past that I found in my building. I'm actually going to help them. Anyway, but thanks to the shoes. I applaud that mention of being student. No, they were applaud as well, but they were going to Mrs. Burnham and that, and that will be remembered by those leaders, those who you that, for those who are informed. Congratulations, and thank you. This is community. I like how well you. And next week, Della Ferrer. So I have plans. Communication is one of the most important skills that you can have. I'm the administrator team, you often talk about the speaking of the language as a superpower. This learning is about giving superpowers to children with this she built the French program in Guatemala, that's where it is. And sitting there and chatting and telling, it's funny when I think of this um, 2 weeks ago, she was out, saw her venture to, but more students, it's a really, we were, it's a really, we were sitting in this place, and we were also being quite like, just to be taken. Thanks from Ellen for continuing the legacy that she created, moving really there and beyond. Anything about for students can think nothing longer before this room. Superheroes everywhere, standing there, so it's really. Be wonderful outside the community. And we also have Darren Sullivan for the here this evening, but Mr. Sullivan, doing years in multiple areas. He's known for being, really on as well as going wherever he wants to be and bring mathematics to his students at any level. He just continued with that. I think every student who is somewhere in the room later in Chapman to hear those stories, to be there and support of them. And was truly gonna enjoy his time with them, doing lots of great things. And I guess I think plans for the students doing that, as well as in the field with the students now. They always control these honest. So, right? You want to tell one small time, but you don't allow them to keep like can't be. That it just can't be. You guys read that. When you come on, I'll get back to the board. We're ready now to the other school.
So it's very exciting. Tonight it's very sad to see some of our leaders within Factor be moving on to what's next for them and really doing exciting things. It's also really exciting to honor those newer teachers who have come in, who have put in hard work for the past 4 years. We also have a teaching assistant as well. And to be able to honor them by granting them tenure this evening. So first we have people from here because of them cheered on screen and visible clients with me. So I teacher being dean for the past 2 years. From that time, she has been standing with the couple as an academic life in summer season. Professionally, she has been a part of the team, from the moment system team. And the year of the are very bad for me. She's incredibly deserving this remarkable milestone. So congratulations with me.
So do I have a motion to grant tenure? Second. Okay, questions from that? All in favor? Anything else? To
Next, we have actually Ali Garcia. So I will say a few. Ali started in the district for years now with significantly different responsibilities than he has now. This position has evolved over time. It seems to include everything we are responsible for. So it's not one of us, it's two. And he's been such an asset to our team. He brings a sense of pride. He has a lot of knowledge in a bunch of different areas, which is extremely important. He's able to provide insights, which I any discussion that we are at. So it's been a very interesting 4 years. But you know, it was my pleasure to be working alongside you. We've been through some interesting times. Started with COVID and it's just never stopped coming. He's very reliable, he's able to pivot to use a conviction. And you know, I definitely appreciate all that you've done for myself, the team, and the district.
convinced till now have a motion to walk to here to the guidance. So with comments, person. Again. Next is
So there was an accident on the Midland Bridge, which Lisa was picking up the team back here. So she too went out and she is now on this. Mrs. O'Connell is going to say a few words back to me. So I congratulate Ms. Kuchian as a constant. So it's one of those strong in time as this person sends for my family from home by experience and lost in in September 2022, Ms. McKeon was granted the award even if she was led by the continuing with the American Food Standards Association, which was led in front of the Alliance in Canada. Thank you to
I have a motion to grant tenure to Billy. Have a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor? Yes. It's there. We're gonna start. That's right. So we usually started as worked in our district 10 years. The biggest issue was engineering, was how we have to was now, middle school, she's school. It's long before changing rules and things. This story that's easily clear roles in context. She is student focused, has a short reading experience. It's really always either difficult circumstances and then struggling with ability, not maybe your experience level or faculty something to do. So do I have a motion to grant tenure to Anna Marie? Second? Question, comments? All in favor? Good. Next is. I have. That's my favorite. That's following the kind of doing student involvement. This is the most negative. First time, I wasn't smelling his road, finished job. Not only not business, but also myself enough to the community. My younger classes and, not being slightly in the system that wins. Recently presidential poster boards. Graham is also one of those teachers who recognizes positive things. Who found the end of, obligated to a future. And the art and students love them. If you have any, really still that wants to do. It's a good way to reverse the install them in the place. Some, when they don't, have them, even further than one. The original of movies is also commendable. That's a supervisor in the said, it was amazing for our staff that she collaborates with us at each level with the students. Which the home involved teachers also goes through with the report over there, so that people project. With these members that really want to fight them, we had a value team member. I'm thinking of the community party. You know, around our here, not just the recommend for the service. That's that was one announcements that patient, and their other services and everything I'm getting some sense for the council moving forward. Desires when again, to grant tenure to Amanda. Go to second.
Okay, go ahead.
Any questions, comments? Something? All in favor? Any against? Go to the last one. Amy Quinn. So I was speaking on behalf of this phone. So I'm going to install, the most important things we do, and they know that we can understand function rigorous processes that we most into the districts that are the best teachers of our students. In a town so far away, I did not know I would be one of the finest teacher educators. Miss Quinn, but that's my middle school. So PPR, years ago, many years, this moment, she gave me here, I cannot see, the city. She's doing the rescue, so she finds a way to make all of the people in school to homes to others. She was this types of collaboration, was mostly on to being multiple classroom, multiple adults, multiple buildings, balance difference with each of the single room, all along bringing students at the same time. The only thing I see about the this is that she is knowing some of her students. She's really been see it, one influence. See it, being you want to like, so, it's like, I see, we're all moving.
Do I have a motion to grant tenure to Amy White? Second? Questions, comments, concern? All in favor? Yes.
Congratulations, my, you know, it's on the brilliance of your.
All right, next we go to the consent agenda.
Yeah, no one will be able to.
Yes, we're done. Um, do I have a motion to, well, first, is there anything anyone wants? The actual consent. We have a motion to. So. Comments, questions about any of the, on the consent? Good morning.
Single. See it. Five. One of the other rhythms on maybe, you know, not to see. That's weird. So, they're. So, hourly. Either an hourly limit or. For the, yeah. They can go to me runs weekly, but so if we can all my year, I'm gonna see us. You're, you know, I'm 12 classrooms, so it would be no more than.
No. Right. Right. Ready to we have a. Questions, comments about the financial performance? All in favor? Yes. Um. So next is a leadership report. With, if you're interested in, then, you know, convention, these essays, actually, this is, you know, so it's, you know, some stuff is, other than, it's all. It's, you know, perhaps, send all the good women. Me, Yeah, that's just person.
Yeah, so, for those people who are this is Deborah Dunleavy, she's the Kinder and Service Director. She has, so much knowledge in the short time she's been here, so we're really grateful for that. She has some information for the Board of Education, for, activations in the time that she's been. She has suggestions for the future. And some of that is going to be discussed in a later venue, but some of it she will discuss here. Um, So my name is Sarah Polly. I've had the pleasure of being in interim school director for the last 2 weeks. And I've said it's really nice interactions with your staff, or we put your property down and really nice place to come and work and see and really sort of be seeing. A little bit about me, I've been in food service business since 1980. I was in food service and when I was in New Jersey. My mother was my trade, so I just watched. Something like this family inside this close. But that much being said, I get into the objectives. So, it's always nice to have a frame out what the objective of the department is. So I'm gonna push on something is role nation here. Salary physically sound, push on to the program and my participation, my efficient sound choices, and comes college educational day. Includes pathways. Emergency. And more I can happen, but very few. There's changes.
Discussion to take staff given in response.
I believe the beginning that we have here is good for public institutions. Okay, so, school lunch, when does it start? When does really nutrition start? Starts July 1. So there's a few weeks that we to see town, start with a 0. We are first opportunity to start getting into the nations. We started our first time in education. You have a 7 years program in high school, will address the 75 students that are enrolled for cash buy and enrichment. They'll be serving some lunch and we'll be able to get some people, so we will do some training with them. September brings the National School Program, which is optional. I'm here to what we got there in the spring. I think national programs also up there. And they have everything that's something reduced, which right now we're not. You don't have them. See, like, I don't work. Which program is turned into K6 arena and generally you have to be 50% if you reduce. And then it says the national school lunch, which is mandatory in the state of New York. And we have to operation here in the local. Then there's after school snack. I do not do that. Sometimes when I start having the teams back into play, we've had a meeting, had some trainings over the summer, had some on-site trainings in the beginning, circle learn. We're working with the director of the department's going for this to June. In February, we're on one holiday, and that's when we put in our Columbus and John services for our youth fund. So last February, I was put in, I will be available in September rescues. keep in mind, your back office and general services is goes up on the stream. It was a good time to have 700 on the school year. And then you can get our finance. It helps us create our menus and things like that. Just the revenue. And enough. Revenue sources, so where's the revenue to operate a sports program generally? So your resource is your lunch services, not only to the service itself, but to line in the tree office journals. Next is our operating revenue, which is often an opportunity to like each of responders start educational day. Rather than where their group is from. If you leave your house without their breakfast and all that when they get here in the morning. Others about services is really unique in that how much money is really wrong. They like to get, when you don't use it, it gets left on the table. Is generated by how many lunch meals you actually serve from the previous school. So we'll receive about $70 in that category, which with their CDP, we can see it from the box. We're distributing more lunch. Our part, which is on the side, can be exciting. Our digital side, which we don't have it, we share. Now that you can take it back. And 30% don't save in the schools. That is relatively big, and we're going to put some things in it to make it easier for school districts to stay with 30%.
And can you explain what the 30% was?
I know. Some of them. One side of the initiative is that when the school funds program could spend 30% of food costs on New York State government.
And now,
Then what happens when you do that? You prove it, like one of them. You get 19 cents and you must get street.
it's an additional 19. So my understanding, my from a different source, that's New York City, it's 19 additional cents.
Or either some chicken, beef, pork, goat is available or not, there's a couple of bulk cans over in Orange County. Milk, cheese, yogurt. Grape juice. Grains, like lots of flours, beans. Kind of thing, eggs. Definitely eggs. Definitely eggs. Eggs are actually very local to this area. All your produce, especially now for the growing season. Like November, you can get apples, pears, peaches, nectarines, or fruit trees, especially if you run the house or greenhouse. Kale, there's blueberry, spinach, romaine. This one,
What's
is there a fruit list?
stated we reach out, that may happen.
Sure, that's good. So, for nonprofit extension has been working with New York schools as well as now they will see that. So come to example. And what happens is it's easy to purchase from New York State. I'm trying to get out of the had it in here. And sign it. Sign the links. Your partner, that becomes when they. I will pull up and down to the region, you can get out these. Go out in there, it's in your hundred, get out all. I didn't say a little less, which I have got on follow but you know, then. Here's the thing, we're still control that the balance. That's what we know. Many times, everything goes to Connecticut or Washington plan. You are not the center of Connecticut and Washington degree. Yeah, that's what I remember in Connecticut. You have a purpose in Connecticut, so we're going to things. My sense, right, you're the schools, we came on board last year, with women's, which is resort fund. Only for some things. Now they're trying to bring up. Difficult for. Some sometimes region that because focus are built on that inclusion. And, working with finance, compoundary, city groups, came out there for this area, that's from New York. Neighbors. The other question, I really love the 30%, it's very exciting, especially when I look at the rural map and rural is. Blue, so it's all green on the road, so. A lot of still drive out to, I see the coverage from that. My way is to see if they take a look at that, it's big, pastures. Analysts, getting she and extensive. Extension of partnership between business, with schools, and. Yeah. What's nice too is that there's part of the message is that she raised the discretionary fund. Said exclusive to $20,000 for her to do that. Which makes it a lot easier for the farmer to be involved because the farmer is the or when he might successfully. So, modern HR is an indicator to. So, the relationship with your local foreigners, saying. That up and the. Makes sense. Last but not least, we have grants. There's grants, the time, sometimes the school, and I'm now actually, that, pretty invented. In a lot of this conversation, and then you have, saying that, because of the human grant every year. One solution, over with regeneration, some people. We have vendors who do two grants on an annual basis, just something you have to, you have to listen and make sure message that haven't been funny. Over the region. Yeah. So use some fiscal strategies. So when you operate school lunch, your income comes from. Distribution of your fiscal and these points are set by the federal. And then subsidized by the state. Well, New York, Governor Hochul is subsidizing the gap between the 25% and the 100% reimbursement rate so that all students can eat at no cost. So, money back down. Universal recipe is the first thing that almost guide which expenditures and your purchasing and your distribution. So so that when Johnny, who's a 12th grader, gets the same size as Susie, who's a 9th grader, will feel left out with this discount. Margin revenues, they let you know last time I had. Been using Wayne burger. That you need to make it. This is funny because you have one in and then running on the production. So just guide you and what's it so that you don't overproduce. Hopefully, because all of a sudden we're going that way you reduce the but here's my review. Second menu, second menu contains standardized recipes. Part of your standardized recipes. So that you know when you write you put the same on there, it's 27 cents. And your apple is 29 cents. So it makes sense. So you guys get it to you. Procurement. Procurement is always interesting. The central just have to be on the phone because they have messages that blue school districts like to use the function doses, which is also good for this area because many schools together make lunch. Then you can start receiving some of that. It's volume distance. And then, just maybe some money, you have to someone to work with, how not going to back, and before. And then the soft spots. Over, come on, for. Like your restaurant has to walk up 3 flights of stairs, down around the corner, through the hallway to get their. Another day, maybe they don't have to do. So I need to. That's why I want something more than possibilities. Making you move. And then the probably training, my training is. To maintain, you know, this one, because. I'm just getting my recipes. And then I'm understanding my kitchen side recipe, but understand, right? Four ounces doesn't mean 6 ounces. Yeah. I'm the person one, so I'm going with the serve. I don't know what the tour. I said. But I'm sure this is pretty important. To have something behind here. Any question, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean. Okay, what about the boundaries? If I'm the senior involved, is that the same sense working as Laura in birthday?
Great question. So the answer to that is so. Nine. Well, there is a board there. You know, something still in actual. It's really straightforward. One start between 600, 650. But yeah, and then I'll fold it to 650 to 750 and then for 750 and then post for 7 to 8. So it helps. It takes into consideration the size of the student. And all the menus are analyzed so that you're running a 22 free prior it's the design. So there's the hydrates and salt, sugars and. It helps. It helps. I mean, there's some. It has a song now, the way people write for one of them.
Well, well, now I think we have this. So we need to now, yeah, we're not gonna be able to store.
Mhm.
But it's
And
good. That is good. The sitting on.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the chairs. We've already been, the only time is a lot.
when that's your question.
So, yes. We follow those. Or because the system, unless you get into spring, and you can start with, I would say, it's where we want, learn to see. Don't really, we might use them. We really understand this. I'm not even going to use it, we did initial reading, even though it's like, for, we're able to. We're we want to see something. You do not really do that. We're things. You don't know stuff. But it works. Sense. Is my opinion. Like most more can be trial. We all have to but going to know. It's just. Even better, as one of the reasons it's time to figure out what already, because it's inside. Well, this can be 3,000 this is Immediately, but you're moving forward, they're not moving on to reproduce.
It's right, it's needed. So you learn really, and you're in pretty good shape as a district consultant. Every building that you find has an oven, it has a warehousing, and, you have people to show up. So like you're in really good shape. Is there other things that could come in, if we want, yes, we're looking at, high topics over that. Because it's been dormant for a couple of years for making sure that it actually has outlived its lifetime, and when you take it out. Like you back it down, do you want to put it on the evidence, do you put it in a flat top, do you put it in there? Do you can- And if you do, what's our? So. We have a menu that generates more of the back to basic scrap. So then we need to implement that, and they're gonna just read that, in the one. Like that's my impression, as a whole, we kind of wanna not be so much of a split one proportion. There are things like, even that, less like vegetable, I don't know, you know, for the district, then you're going to treat them. So there are already nice pieces here, but pieces that will keep on the green brand. And I mean, like anything else should be heard on the West Coast. I should sound. So. To that, but this slide is, this kind of talks a little bit about, two styles that you can operate at your school lunch, school program. And it's called served or offer versus served. Now, offer versus served is mandatory in the high school, and we are doing an offer versus served program again. It's optional in the pre-K through. Right now, you'll have too much served. Because certain is just like the other individuals. So I'm gonna put the links here here. This is a box skill. For every student, every day, you offer one. You have many areas. Writing models, writing models, and up to 6 hours of introduction. Pretty soon. They told me that $1.29. When they choose it. Suppose they just go on, you look at their bag. Level. Probably way in the fitness. What do you think is their living? So. The key part, figure about. Their communities. And that's what they want. It's so hard to know, it's so long with the second kid. Continue. That way the chances of them actually consuming you. Right. If you will serve whatever really wants it, they eat it. It's probably. We serve the evening, every. You have everything in the community. So we put out at least 1 or 2 options for each one. So this one will give you some components, the reversible meal. 8 ounces of fluid milk, 4 ounces of 4 ounces of vegetable, 2 ounces of meat alternate, and 2 ounces of brain butter. Rule is, if it's a fruit or the color, which one's a favorite vegetable. Period. So in a child. Who's all of them specifically? We said please. That's what I was, yeah. You know, that was the place that they want to see. What they're saying is, you I have some. What's your on you? It's the lighting that you want to see. It's gonna be a stretch. Okay. Kind of like that happened. I mean, I don't. So we're going to breakfast, so if we go towards a breakfast city in the classroom, in our elementary, even up to eighth grade. Still have minimum time. Enough, which would be English. They will then choose them and choose their sim. Okay, once they have that, it's theirs. They choose to put their phrases in their time for later and so forth. But they will need to take off the lunch. But this will how we talk about it. And, doesn't even say. We expect to, perhaps came from, the so any questions about Lover versus Serve? I feel most screen is just about questions. Please feel free to ask me any questions and I'm not going to answer them. Tell you how long it would take you to find it. I can try, you can ask me anything.
Yeah.
And they got to, so that's really, you guys are asking that question, so my experience has been good doing this. You know, that's incorporating it for communication and relationship. You had one. So if you're, celebrating National Hamburger Day, you want to tell people that that's what you're doing, and maybe somebody's counting hamburgers in math class instead of, you know, whatever. So the connection between the food service and the classroom is easily done, but there has to be, some rules, some operations, and so yes. So I've had a opportunity to do a program where you eat with your eyes. So we were at a public event with 3 bottles. We had blue drink, red drink, and yellow drink. And we asked people, try them and tell us what was their favorite and why they liked one of them. We had all sorts of answers. This one was too dark, this one was too sweet. They are all the same. But we can mix them and release themselves. So talking about the food service, having positive interactions, doing events, that's where the connection starts. And that's where you bridge the gap between how important food is and finding it and well.
Wow, it's not like
What about you?
this. Yeah, I didn't see any, see how. Yeah. I did.
So, this last summer, uh, where I was, Middletown School District, we were with Cornell Cooperative Extension, and they have, program that's a marketplace. So for 2 weeks, they ran a summer meals program, summer program in their summer programming, and food service was part of that. That, you, you have fun days. We did a scavenger hunt based on a book that one of the elementary buildings was reading as a whole. So we went around, yeah, fruits and vegetables throughout the school. When they paraded around, they tried to find them, and everybody got to have a bag and keep all the fruit they found and take it in. So opportunities like that arise, take advantage, and get rich.
We also talked about just, random some of it, like everything before the blazer. That we saw today, creating menus in the area, have those consistent, piece like Doug was saying, so that students can forget every time there's, chicken sandwich, this is what it's gonna be, because I just got a chicken sandwich for. And talked about, and getting some of the, it's like this, years in the park, so they movement and. The names, really on there, just excitement, having some recognition. So we are really to see films, like, so you guys are able to wear, this one, identified as here, so they ask if they want another one, but yeah, there's time. Like. Very nice.
Yeah.
Do you wanna just put in the having the reason why we made it done, that I mean, sure, I think that. Some items that the industry runs like diligently on to create them, so that not from communities, so call it. Cause have the right thinking, try to change. Serial. Rentals and both. The idea behind that is that it's not as important. Something that very involved that and guys. Norman Davis. We remove this year the middle round from very sustainable. Nature, material, the water, and. No, I just want to practice like crazy. So, instead to be raised and making an impact, it makes it hard, and we need to, here. You have, there's not this how loving, which is, I find. Well, maybe I'm on the chicken. You know, that, over. You can piece it on to be, that's an already rich flour and. Yeah, the nice. Blueberry, strawberry, and good one, but then some. No, not out of everything. Those are, very. This is one of my favorites. Everyone knows me, I used to have a certain day. This is a Bonborn cheesesteak. This came to us via Vietnam. When I'm coming on, we can have peas, full cheese to Bonborn, and they make these cheese sticks. Be good on them permanently. I didn't stick most days. Then so that would be for that member. And this is another Mobius product. This is an Pet Peach. It's Peach mushroom. Well, a lot of these. They make pizza, they make strawberries, and make fruit sparrows. In fact, fruit now is like you can also get New York State applesauce slices. Get a lot of things from New York with that. So we were talking about one of the ways to drive education rate would be to make it accessible. So we included greater sensitivity. Students would definitely wear the design with this, and then by then, we have a stimulus, brand and soon. when we talk about the fact that, what we can do within the department, when I drive and so, we don't have like something as like, so. I don't know, like, later, things now, we're getting from it. Something that, they try, they have their fun, like, this is the fun days, and then they need to, and then right? So, it's something like that just gets students excited to have, like, then, everything that we talked about, there's, that reference about it. So then I thought, we find everyone's later experience and stuff, and, it's safe for them to hold on to them. Still.
I think that kind of revolves around like what do you call your concerns? If you brand it, or you careful, if you like something else, it's not right. Then everybody can out of it. This happened today, or you're based on it. There's were they, were they visible?
Yes, so I think we spoke about that too. So, here, for example, the students get optimized and they can down to the criteria, they don't have school, they have like this. When they move under that serious, yeah, when they come to something that's simple, transport. People don't have any under the command perception, right? The other side is that usually three, people who don't want to do things for whatever reason. And as the combined wasn't even noticed, they had, it's going to be right? That is more just about putting it in the top. And students, whatever, the county, so.
Like the planning mechanism is really straightforward and simple, if it's a really car. It's that the station had planned, and now they have. That's. That process is not very much. So. It's state accepts them. For. Control now, there's a lot of conversation about how do you move forward with your business. Something on the administrator and this that. This is. We just thought it would. Right. We're very kind of. Right. Which is a real. And they can get it, something, free about.
College. This program. Specifically, right? The changing one, very so. Right, not help. Through everything, how loud it's important. Investments, I said, that's the main. This person is going to. What is she need? What we can do it, what's the optimal way to do it? Taking the bed, let's.
I'm glad that you know. Take just fish on the I mean, there's one pleasure, I just want to like, about what we do, because then. We impact every student when we interact them with, geez, I told my, how can we get this judgment? We have some problem every day, he's only doing the children.
You just lodge, we need to be able to design, because there's attending PSY, I mean, that's just. You would kind of like, the next.
So, what's the thing with match, right? So, with class, yeah, one of the New York State school website. And one is the eligibility. And on that, you want to be, that, because then you have 50% of the census data, you can operate it, you can, some. If you're paying, maybe you have a school that will qualify you in that. We have one building that is so close, so, I think 9%. You gotta say that, when we successfully do that, we will land in the. Because that means that we can offer management event meals, which means that. Families can put their days worth of meals on one day, the children will be. So we had to find 6 or 7 kids to convert that 49 to 50. Right. Yeah, so the status in terms of the previous leader, their community responsibilities, but it was the human health that you. The reason why is that there are families quarantined then was actually being like. So when we on our website and there was a survey attached to it, it seems to. The verification process where families can qualify this from and they really wrong and during that information. And if they qualify, they can receive a card with electronic benefits. That has been said that first to be able to feed their family and it's an incremental money in their house. So, that's one of the campaigns we're doing now to try and close it down for the kids so I mean, for some programs, so so we'll continue with that campaign and then there's full year just to make sure that we really could potentially qualify under these applied to see if we do. And then, they would have that. And then it was just one at the summer EBT. And each qualified students will receive a monthly. You guys have any other people who like this? Something more than. It's not a good shit, Name is the UN review, that talks about things that and is the found with conservation. Yeah, received the discussion from college spent this kind of environment, maybe the programs that we've expanded and so in terms of grants, and you just need a lot of marketing campaign in the last few years. And some of that will be new, and some of that will continue into the future, we enhance engineers or consistently. So you'll see on the left-hand side, under my one general plan. So all the student exceeds that size, an title there. From each of them is earmarked to my more specific. More, surroundings, I would say, on how they can be used if you title one is based on need. So we have 3 schools that are due to just economic status of the students in attendance. We have 3 buildings qualified for phase 1 with this specific need. So that money can be used as targeted assistance for those. So you'll see some of the things that are sort of similar between Title 1 grants and maybe a Title 2 grant. Because our high school doesn't qualify as a Title 1 school. And T12, we might have to fund the high school portion from a different funding source because we can't use it. So that's really the one thing that you see. Title 2 is money typically targeting professional development and having the quality and instructional opportunities.
Technically, the district actually applies for smart card, they're not just policies. So we don't actually have an independent title. Title III is for the education and brings one in language learners. On Title IV, environmental uses, traditionally we've used it on our STEAM programs and also on coding for readiness. So that's kind of what the title grants are. There's some very specific allowances, there are very specific exclusions, that's all sort of broad. With each of these grants, we have to provide funds for the private schools that educate no residents. And one, the schools in our district. So then coming share grant, we have different elements and we have to do what is called collaboration with each of those schools. So for example, Title I, we register with TS schools, but it's no rough students. And this is the countries of the district. And then we go to private elementary. Or for the preschool, and then in terms of the Title II, 3, and 4, that is for residents from attending school. And the school in our district may have students from so they don't just stay. So they probably based on the criteria, but we have to evaluate those schools and we have to. So sometimes if the school doesn't qualify or doesn't want to be together with the sort of trail of taking the students now. Not into get this money into college, you know, just the burden side. And so sometimes it is just the Disabilities in Education Act, DEA, has two separate grants. So they have a 611 grant and 619. Requirements, but you can do this with students who are school, so again, there are set aside monies in this grant. And these two grants for all of the special education location and educated students. So for example, with reach finance and Northville, give them notes to regions, they get a constant opportunity. When you calibrated with some services that they, so for example, they're very with CCIP, if a student only got to limited funds to them by the preschools, then you only pay a portion of in addition, all of these grants also have money that are specified for students who have been finding usually solid grant. They decided to place them and just say so they depending on more responsibility with the CSE. And because of that, we have to set aside money. We have to explain how you provide those services in the amount. So it could be through the evaluation, it could be through actual related service. Can in two different ways are so the way the provided review that can be able to account for those funds. There's more of the evaluation that we do, the screenings that we do speech trainings in each of the previous schools. So those kind of things that we have to and all of that, and that's part of our application for the IDA. We also receive universal funds. So this is under enrollment. Here are some people up to if we have 26 students that have already done particularly for a student, which is actually not that much. But very good close. And then after the 26 students, we're able to then apply for the student targeted in this given so This past year, we had, 3 students in our pre-K program, so usually most of that age, very long, it's gonna do 100 years, that even got into the district, and again, when you have one that we haven't shown, then students have done something that is targeted and specific for them. In terms of the we had 2 kind of grants in the district this year. One was, we should have had, actually, and one was to recognize the mental health. And then most of the these are not names, these will not be explained next year, the American Rescue you recommend. Schooling, or I should say, schooling in the next step, there was a bunch of topics and many different topics about, in a bunch of different. Some instead of practice pull-off, targeting in the achievement that some, educational, some targeting technology, some different things. More than what I've spoken to was happening, showing that as many as revenues. So again, the title one, it just speaks to the percentage of students who learn families, and then should be about things. Title two is maybe to attract the relevance of work on community members. Title three, we utilize the and these trainers are, and it's not really trying to be honest with you. We use that there for the consortium, vegetable policies, and then time for education, technology, school conditions, and it can be the, safety can qualify. It's sort of there's sort of nuances to what it is in the study, and it's not a whole amount of money. And so this is the amount of money that we get from the our school year. Please watch it. We'll see how each of these grants are satisfied monies. This year, none of them was full stated in the Title I. And so we were able to keep all of the monies in-house, we did have to set aside a portion of that students who are identified as. And that's on the students identified because when the previous year, coincided with the function, I mean, the numbers will be higher next year. And so from Title II, that is the amount of money that was that went to the school, keeping the majority of the money here from building, and then the two. So that's not how years that we have to school, then that's when finance was counted. Maybe this for maybe second Title I. We really rolled it out to be very specific to the and it was another process of the to donor something that 23-21 school. So what we'll be doing now, we'll be sending teachers it's all the people send on it. This is the always the check through that because one of the things so we started doing this is what we did. So you'll notice there's a change of different things. There's a portion of reading teacher salary, there's a portion you can get on our salary because the measurement runs when you need some positions and we to that critical staffing into the ones because obviously very disastrous for us to find, how much money, There's data coordinators in each building, again, if you remember what I had mentioned, there's only data coordinators, and that's because the school can be in this stuff. So we have to use the different things. There's a whole reason on each of our grants. We have so that is from grades 6 from probably you're able to do it there was one place on the district. So something very new, it's that's how much it comes to this, how they use kind of thing versus this building, this building, then it would do. There's literacy consultants, Lexia is a reading program, the ELB is a professional development organization that we were able to work with in order to solve the around the strategic and implementation process. And then listen was around values to educate our students. We have the driving. So you can see vision of this steered straight, Steve interacting mobile, training cooler. So this is going to be reporting some of the personal development district. But we also had some textbooks and some student programs. Unit we had few students who are participating using like C20, which was primary courses from BOCES. So in order to break down to be able to participate on the cause portion of that, we had to find community schools for and those transportation. If I say that so next year, that they they can remember this year to the women. Yep. It's an annual, we do not necessarily like renewable. And they're not right. These are just what we chose to using these movies this year. You wouldn't necessarily repeat all of these things, but sometimes the issue is that schools don't necessarily who would have them. So if you can't use the data, and a lot of times they'll just say. So it's, part of that collaboration process is they don't have to be able to say you keep records and going, they do this to and so sometimes it's just, when they have to go to the differences of how they spend the money. So if they want to do that because it's a really just. No, that was 18. Yeah. It's just one particular learning experience with parents. And there feel interests. Type 2, again, you see that. Some of that very funny how it reacts on the side. Sometimes stand on based on the benefit to. So then we do this for the different areas or keys. Such as a beauty, this was very sugar, so it was multiple checkpoints throughout the year retreat activities. We understand your purchases, master teacher, so we were able to use some of the master teacher training for both teachers that they can go on and they can and then we were also able to find opportunities that the teaching years and assistance, which is nice because we were able to select some for humans for so science we run training, we science training as we, need to make sure that they have training, and so sometimes we'll use these tattoo ones for that, and then so that is, so if it's on from school, we have in Westchester area, and then is really phenomenal. So there's a lot of kind of district to just being at home, maybe like this time, well, I'm going to find elementary school, and the training at the end of those factors, which just kind of rate as non. The state. Title III, like I said, very much money. It comes from just most Like that money is typically used on a kind basis to provide on, you know. To make sure that we hire one of our teachers, or summer programs and help on those, to continue their learning. We've had instances where we've had, students, we've allowed them to do the forms of an intensive learning. And we've also had it where we all students at different levels and they've arrived and then being behind, teacher would sort of go between. Title IV, we use the STEAM teachers, so again, $2,300 isn't a lot of money when you're talking about a teacher's salary. It's just, it's just one of the ways that we utilize that money, and then we have counter experience, some one of the school counselors that's a service money and that's was not research and there's RTE, so each is very specific and targeted. This is for students with disabilities and school aged and or programs that will support like lowering the rate of special education. So I am in terms of cognitive services, areas, what used to be known as so you'll see that we have salaries for special education teachers, and a portion of the salary each of them days is in there. We have servers, we have special education coordinator. There's so many, some have to be through with this special education. Yeah, you need to be a really technical guide just to make sure that you stay because it does need to different something. So we have the going 3 years. Engage understanding was extremely familiar with this type of thing. Services, again, you have the schools, they educate number of students, that you can find in our school, that have to be, and students attending there, we have to send, our for the education of those students, and then also there's a place set aside, like I mentioned, so these are from Benton district all around the school such as then considering or even kids. There are place money is not maybe. So staffing, if you see educational management services, staff is the way that we have been used to ensure each and every one of students who live in our catchment area. Educate them outside of the district. So if we choose a student who is there, there's a staffing process. We make sure that the funds associated with education and training and accounted for. If there's a student from the district who's saying is being educated and tuition basis at one of the private schools summer. And all of that is checked, and then there's this AV building up in 11. Education management services hands on. So we have an annual. So it's a little children. One student who lives as a resident of Harmonious, who comes to responsibility of the Central School District for CSD purposes. Will have resident who attends the Harmonious dead or also have income residents. So because of the type of school, for those that take a study at the residences at Harmonious, once they are placed there, they become CSD responsibility. So these residents, and because we have students who are educated at school, so this one second plan, so that's why here stands a huge library of assessments that can be accessed on an iPhone. So if you have a particular need that you're looking to dive deep into, testing a student, or they find just kind of use one of the digital assessments that's included within the course of that, I think you're next time for one. We also have internships throughout the district for dealing with sensory instruction, as Stephen mentioned, this is This year, we have students next year, so they actually, if they compete for the full, 100 graduation from. Here's they can make it with PPA, which is a again. And they can actually do search, internationally, if somebody needed a provider. Flexible seating options, so we will be able to purchase flexible seating in the classrooms for students who maybe have some difficulty attending the lesson just sitting in a chair, but they have a standing desk, or they have, different maybe a different flexible seating, they have like positions. Teaching training, we have GR inclusive this year, through teaching training with our administrators, and we can to continue to work in our buildings with the teachers and the teaching teams. Which is boot camp that high school level, that is something that we are most probably from 6th, 11th grade, and that's being new this year. We have we were able to purchase and you can go on that's and also include seating, sensory support for students, and those are students in the room, or at least in the district, and we similar needs. And similar doing so they will be able to bring them and program here. And are able to peers back and so we wanted to music and social and also sharing desks and safety seating for students. So when they have this separate desk and share the students they can just learn. And so sometimes that also happens as a function. So to be able to have learn and that they can very easily. So one of the things they get a lot of it easily. And so we does that. And then 619. So it was leading up to the really good. I'm glad here. Rather than the ones you have been running on that back and I retired science group, so it's really nice to be very just the dream. You're able to the same. Yeah, I think that's that's what it's fine. So the CPSE grant for distance 19 IDEA funds, we don't have it. Typically it's $10,000. And once you have friends side school, students. We're gonna have a lot of news because I'm very now towards CPSE chairperson salary, which at this point is and on the next slide, you'll see grant. So this is the American Rescue Plan. This is a 3-year grant is expiring this year. So everything will have to be get into the government at the end of September. So at this point, we're really kind of keeping up, studying to be done. Next year, we're just putting together all of the documentations and then we can send it in and you guys have reviews. No one is in there with, for example, the how to send in and the child have been used the father, and contact so you can when they were here, whatever needed to be done at that time, you want the numbers everything for them to be compensated for them. So since you're the and we have the initial running full values by the from the school. We just like funded so as this grant expires, we've looked to send this into different places that we would be able to sustain it. There's initially the first one into here, now it is in the general fund budget. And we've also used some of this targeted money for PCL planning and I didn't realize how much of that we actually did until I was putting this presentation together. So I'm trying to actually. We also had different supports. Yeah, we had Transactionally, pandemic intervention. Targeted money that came in this way. So we also had, like I mentioned, in children clinic, we had $32,900 that was to be used for consultants from the district to K-12 alignment university. So that was facilitated from the MES into that. And there was some of that money was targeted how to be for the literacy, and some of it was needed to be used for literacy funding. And then we also had $16,000 that came from the Office of Mental Health and then generally educated funds training for teachers. So that's in some substance, all of the money that did not come from the general funds, did not come from the county, didn't expire. So does anybody have any questions? The applications are really tedious and time, and but if I think we're trying to just read out, we managed to that's really excited. So I'll just to highlight some of the things on the district. So this is because it was someone teaching school. We had 26 students then. We've been down next year. We have there's two sections of pre-K. It's always one of those things where we're kind of reading because we tend to have some very limited nutrition, and then we have to make some tough decisions with and so in terms of readiness, the beginning of the school year, they do begin. There were a lot of students who learned how to follow the matrix to attend. So just to give you a little context, that was when they were entering the feedback. Now they're entering, which means that the expectation has increased, right? They went from being 4 years old to now being 10 years old. And so, additionally, some of them were maybe in two different leaders, so it's not always a perfect situation either. And you know, when you begin day, some they can really just give them a million. So in terms of overall revenue, 11 students in the beginning of the year versus 23 now. Again, remembering that the expectations do change from when you're young, even to when you're we had 17 students who, in the beginning of the year, had at least a bit of a positive storm trend. We're now in 20. And we had in the school year, we had 14 students who had one or more areas that was deficient or not necessarily showing readiness. And we had 21 students who that showed growth. Just one for has been decreased in the areas of deficiency where they significantly increased in their efficiency. So these things that we're seeing is the difference between students who did not have pre-K and students, students who attended the second grade program, the discrepancy is obvious. They just have different skills that they are right, having those experiences, organized, learning to play, interactive activities, learning how to socialize. So their language development is obviously going to show differently. So constantly using, conversational and situation skills. In terms of their physical development, they have somebody who's planning activities and targeting rooms and finding them. And you're able to see evidence of that. So overall, the program expanded in just a couple of years. We have schools from around the region. So what is the opportunity to again, see that we do what to do in terms of, even like one literacy, but maybe when they're especially in the ages. So
I'm assuming you that's here. Well, there's three students shown from 29, and when the students, the scores are showing in grades. So what I didn't do in terms of comparing the beginning and the end of the school year, is I didn't, there was no ones to be had, students that we didn't have any data in the beginning. So you have the hard times, like. When I moved in later than. Just this. Yeah, thank you.
So in student services, and this is what I was saying before, we're sort of married to use that, and looking at a lot of the learning that we've been able to offer students this year, and it was, something next week, implies the age of the but we've done, different guidance on my job, education, and just from our students, but also from the staff, that are sort of like lives and development. And this necessarily getting their meaning was that would be so I said, I asked. In personal safety education, unfortunately, we're not talking about things like human trafficking. But we've been able to have that experience in this year, and then during like this time, all of the whole students for counseling here. I know we've said it before, but I think there are some opportunities to visit and then work on studying idea, and those are experiences that students will remember in the future and look back on, and something really unique that they need to do. But also the things that we do in this school year. So we have an alumni event typically every year where our students who have gone to college and inform students and want to expect when you leave high school. We have dress with our student here. And Steve moved out and get from the year from next year doing high school experience. And then, college and plus there, working with having construction trades there. And then I think all of this really kind of is captured under the advisory class over time we did. And another thing that I'm saying we would, take it very seriously, there's going to be feedback on all of these models, whereas, sometimes it's going to be not ones and we can talk on the streets. And it's really important that we use that data to decide is this something you want to bring back 5 years, something you want implementation kind of thing. And we'll just be able to make meaningful decisions about the impact of our students versus just kind of scattering up things. Maybe not step two. And our Office of People Personnel Services, so if you look to the left there, in terms of section 904, we have 98 students that we are responsible for, and I say that we are responsible for because it's not just that they're district students, but we have our students on district responsible. So 98 students, we had CSB, students who have fees that CID age, so that means that there's we have 137 students within the district. We have 21 students who please out of the district, and CSD, who is 27 outside of the district. And we have 22 students who are in the category of CPSE, so preschool English. So the PPS office this year has coordinated 299 meetings approximately with students with APs and final programs. So just to be clear, if you look at the numbers, we have we're also responsible for the residents of the as I had previously, responsible to full medical students who are educated. So whether we ourselves have placed them in other programs, or they go to the school community and know we still have to maintain a community if they attended the common school. So sometimes that means that we have to communicate via, writing to the phone and they say, in there, we're good. And that's fine, we still have to service to update them, right? So we also have 14 out of district schools where our students are placed and being educated, and those out of district schools have 21 of our students. So we're in communication with those programs, and then we have 15 students currently facing however that just stand tonight, when we are responsible for managing them. This year, we've got 3 students going into district, we have 1 starting in summer, and another one starting next. So these are students who are previously in programs inside of the neighborhood central schools, and so we will be doing them and becoming the one. We have students who are aging into school services, village services, that would be otherwise would be inside of the district, but they will be within. So we will have to do so long to stay there. And previously, there was a question about in so back in the 17-18 school year, I believe it was, there was a feasibility of study that was done. So projections at that time based on life trends and whatever have you. Y'all determined what the likelihood of they the state 2023 school years. So I highlighted them and they were dated to be, and then there's kind of rows of because the actual groups are as of this phone. And so we are probably 12 students over there. I responsibility, so we're reaching out to the kind of verification. Yeah, even that outside was no behaviors or was intervention. So we actually have more students in our buildings than we were predicted to by the teaching students during this time.
Sorry, the slide before the enrollment. The final version of the CNC. So the CNC 95, that's I your experience with IEPs, no response.
Yeah,
So that's 25% of our student population. That's said or notified.
yeah. So I would say to reminding you that student they are there because they have any required services, so they can be towards 23 students that are increased by our CSD that are not identified by our CSD, but they're managed. Additionally, it is hard. It is hard. You think that one of the things is more of a struggle at this point in time. There's a couple of things. We were dealing with some big issues, specifically in the areas of related to. There's deficit in terms of speech, movement planning, a lot of I would say PT and TV that came just from students and experience and really enjoyed and exploring them. Additionally, what I would also say is that I think we feel real well intervention and CPRP services right now specifically in this program. Preschool services. So we think that is a lot of times you'll have a preschool age child that will receive one intervention, receive those services, and then kind of not practice they and these services. But we're seeing a lot of students roll in from CPSC that we know. So I think that's just things that we're working on. Yeah. Definitely think that there are numbers of more than having. And also kind of even time, but you know, you gotta maybe you gotta think about it, there wants to be more certain magnitude. So I would think that's, um, so we looked at the utilization, and so we have one big classroom at home drive that's actually a classroom space, and reminder guys, you get to use that collaboration. Please, we looked at, there's 7 classrooms that are partially used, so if you condense, what the units have been potentially in 7 classrooms. When you're in school, same thing, there's classes that are used some of the time. So we have that be needed through scheduling combinations of space to be used. At the high school, we could potentially absorb sections of students of visual scheduling and like, middle school, where they kind of move together by grade level. One of the tricky things about middle school is that middle school education is very specific, right? And the expectations for them and a lot of specific living, looking at maybe the sort of essentially down here, landing to middle school years ago. So while we could potentially recapture space, it's not to say that we are, you know, detrimental effects to the home philosophy and further redesignation of watch. Like I mentioned, we could probably absorb 5 sections of students the entire day. It could be placed in different places. So, you know, I'm gonna have to decide on that. And I'm feeling the space to be out. Well, I think I come. One from me, minor. Brandon, and after I was on track where it's more had teachers doing. It's kind of something I know really tried for. So that brand is older. It is good to get brand. So we're looking for participation, to be able to make decisions to see and if there's money to be shown here. Yeah, strong value, specific. So we don't have to see that something that we apply to that type of level. We also have a people that can drive too. And probably the next. So, we did. Amazing. So I had to make predictions as to how much money was going to be utilized. I sort of functioned and did the calculation of how many works we had, and how many sessions we did. We got it to be able to be used for that. And we did a grant amendment number. What? It's able to be actual revenue, you know, you can change and this time. Share and then so we will have spent right up to there, I mean, whatever might be like calculations. So we were able to recapture it through an amendment on the progression to make sure that, because we know how we too much in the past, we know that we can use. The use of last year, the line last year we were at. So. Yeah, and so we had already this year, and we've had, you know, we have more than 10 additional points coming into Kindle that have already registered, so. You know, where our numbers are right now, doesn't necessarily mean whether there will be a big one. That's good.
Next one is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to know that I talked briefly about a number of meetings about Laura. She like so happy to be here with you and person to actually the communication she's done for us throughout the year, the district could be all that. And I would give advice to that as well, on that expected continuous reach out, so the way to see what's sticking and what do we need to improve action for, but you're dealing with your data is really gonna speak to the story that they try to share. Now, thank you so much. You know, so I'm really, she's dedicated to the sessions. I'm super excited that I was able to work with all of you this year. It's just, the work is a good thing. I think it's great respecting and just students, careers, faculty and staff and the administration is just holding someone beyond and everything and my stuff. So, yeah, so thank you for and Jackie's this so at the beginning of the school year, yeah. Well, um, that's a little bit, that's okay. So at the beginning of the year, I read this book, that's was the district, and I wanted to make sure that you're focusing on the four pillars of set up. It's not plan, nothing, sustainability, and health. We created hashtags for each one of these to correspond, particularly on social media with each one of the pillars. So we want hashtag FCSD and so on. And that's been a lot of fun. And if you talk about how much time that's stepping in, so, the Blazer Bulletin, our newsletter, we, it's a lot of fun to work with this district. There's ton of data to talk about. We were able to so far release 34 newsletters in this school year. Still have a couple more to do. That doesn't come distributed from people who can release. So one thing that I really feel that we were able to achieve was is we use constant contact to send out the newsletters and we're able to see hot spots on it. And we're able to find out what events, which is the number of people we interested in, you know, look content. So now the industry standard education is 45%. Millbrook, we have 170%. So I really think that I think that's to our community and just so this lesson, you're able to cover, you know, we want to make sure we covered every building. So drive, we have giving, things like you're able to turn on the pre-K program, which was great. It was fantastic, just talking to laser awards with their big stuff students things like the 70s one here. Alden, we have my different guest speakers in the museum, speaking. We had the music festival to all state all from me. The feminist class, which was really amazing for us here, and I was really good to talk about it. On a community function like dictionaries. This is the tradition. The Bangor State is one of the first, you know, things that we have they check the copies for you know, creating the community actually have computers mailbox that they created in town in addition to minutes on this building. Interact Excuse me. Just very, very few, but just, ins and outs, you know, I feel bad to, they fantastic. Performance this year, so they should have much around. The music was very important state, and then the fantastic sad the students, I guess, to stop making decisions. We were able to focus, on things that, Marjorie had done with the students this year. Yeah, it's shooting on students and, so. And then here's the things that go on within the district and our connections to the community, which is not always something that people get to see. So the professional development, things to like raise up teachers and to celebrate their accomplishments as well. We did a 4-part series on the literacy consultants which was a long time. Great to them to accessible way people understand that you know teachers to there was the demonstration to the care about the lower library range, which was really cool. We celebrated things like Very with the children's books, and so getting readers know it's just wanted this, you know, it was on the seat, so see. And then the spring hip newsletter, that was something I'm sure you saw, but the, this is the first year that, we've done this, obviously, it's still a project. We did our best to select stories that were in things like a human, interest in, we found pillars. So, you know, it's for 6 months, advertising effectiveness, business, probably, you know, to discuss with people, information session. So, social media, we've been able to do a lot of things on social media this year between, just stuff, events, accomplishments, and not just the 30. So this trying to some of the pictures are doing every day. And so we did a few reels and videos that were fun and I got some good, it's a good attention from the community. So social media, one of our goals was to increase followership. So that's something that we were able to do. So we spent 4% net increase in Facebook followers, so that was 180, and that increase that gained some users, so I think we all this. Things like that. You know, Instagram got 63% increase in followers, so I was really happy to see some. So, you want to see sure. We can almost. So, I mean, it's with this stuff. Right, so you can just charts that I want, out, many business fields, we can spread this to when, insights are working together, so look at, really good too. So, the top of these charts are actually just filling assumptions. In this one, this is increased by 0.6%, and it's just, is the number of people we reach with each post, in a given time. So these trends actually show September 1st, 2022. To September 2023, and I'm still. So you'll see that we were able to use our range on Facebook and Instagram. To reach just one space, so obviously, and this is just visits to reach to pages in general. Hopefully start Instagram. Install. I really like this white space on the bottom. That means if you The way that. Some smaller, stuff is similar, so. Yeah. Yes, really, before I finish, I need my questions, I'm really want to. Just, still training to the fantastic, teachers and students and just everybody, when I'm. It's just, it's, people community. Well, we're definitely gonna do more. One thing that I'd actually like to do is, incorporate student voice. So I did a few, interviews with students, like, we did meals. One of them is, we put aside sugar from Paris, he's being recognized. I'm still thinking about clear. Trying and I have sixth graders kind of giving advice to saying funding. I think it was good fun. But I shouldn't really care. Just, we didn't like to kind of spread. It's probably spread things out, a little bit more, I feel nice, I just I'm actually creative in the way that we do address like pillars. So the sustainability discourse, we can people to get a whole lot more, think about it. There's probably a lot more that we even this year that I even thought, well, that actually relates to sustainability or that actually relates to discourse. And I'd like to put like a little bit more on that. In communities and so it's getting about that. Well, whereas the reason I'm just trying to discourse, we're not there history, maybe solving this for us to be able to make the system on today,
There's been foreigners. Even, well, so, no elements from, so ever. Right. Yeah. Want to make sure that it's easy.
wanted to know whether they did, start doing the peers with the Gilbert City, yeah. Been creating a website so that every bullet that, things that I'm using on the website, you can go by the. I see everything, on his side. There's stuff like them, so the big stories that she creates, the little Holtons that tell you like. The award ceremony is coming up, where we, is happening, whatever those things are, so that's all archived now, specific, like Holton, Lex, it's deadly. So, so that we don't have to necessarily go to email, but reason I knew that works, that you guys, videos, we did talk about like shorter interviews or even if we do longer interviews, talk questions or things like that, which is putting those posts. Right, like there's folks that's an option too, because I feel like there's another besides our school community or with like the more interest and that.
So,
We didn't take, sorry, just maybe one more quick thing, because that Veterans Day was actually live streamed ceremony. Yeah, I think that was there, we didn't have too many people watching, people watching, I think I can see like something, I'd like to do more in the future. So the video shit and some people just think that to things like that, that's always nice. Let's do. Sort of right here, yeah. There's what's going on, right? Some article related to community Dozen balls, that's maybe some balls. Okay, sorry. And then, is there a way to notify, like, maybe live stream it? Or the one way to the town, and like, it's saying that. This that. Yeah, taking away and emotion, yeah, absolutely, that's something that. No, because exactly. But the artistic human was actually the marine group that's located in Dickin. Then I went to them something to the stores that had gone out. She didn't really touch now. I'm just gonna say more of it, so I'm gonna give a few more. And I was saying, in sense that, the you have to do something really nice to sure. We got to continue. Yeah, you should have to community articles and things like that, and to like contact with the community. So would be so easy, to just kind of promote. Yes, we can do that on these. Time. What was inside. And I'm very sweet. So. When you hard to say for everybody. I agree everybody. I was saying, just into a new experience. We got two waters. One of them, we pulled away, graduated, they're graduating this year, but middle school, the only one in high school. And, this coming year was, the things is blood. I think we both were very small. So let me, before that, I just wanna let you know my daughter. She has gender dysphoria, which was spoken for, or she doesn't receive some less inches. So that only just let me know if you slice me if phone that one word. So with her name, when they announced her graduation would be the name that she was. And I said, "Lord." So he said to me that regardless of what I said, he has to do whatever she. And I was like thinking about my rings as a parent and really. So I was gonna started at Landry and everything else. And the I said to him, he said, I'm ready to. I said, it's not to my daughter, you're gonna, though, maybe was that. And nobody said to me anything about what's going on. Besides that, when you check me behind the door, I don't even really want to. But you check me behind the door, and they change in her better. It's not like she appears as female, but she's supposed to because that's her job. I'm getting very go this way. Now this way because I'm too much. They just completely change it. We don't have that argument for anything. And I feel like he even I mean part of anything decision on this. My rights as a parent was violated. When he said to me, "Please see as it is, and what this was, what it was like, so I have no say, no say, so I told him I'm gonna talk to my daughter, I talked to her, and I called her back saying that, well, my daughter said that, she doesn't care, she's gonna be, named information. And, like, they're very, she was yeah. Yeah, and he said to me, well, I'm sorry, but I can't find that. So I was, again, in particular, my very son, was son telling me that you're gonna take my heart, but you're gonna trust me and leave me. So why I am? How you putting me in your son? And meeting possible which is no start meeting. He said to me, we know everybody. Go to the next and how psychologist, my daughter, and I said, so I was like, whenever it is, one person, so I said, father, my daughter wasn't going to school, it was so I'm just, when you say, you try to be, so, I can learn, so um, it was something that I was trying to understand. Keep us very, very shy. But at the same time, I think it doesn't function is leading to what is going on with this of this person. Whereas if he knows that something is wrong, there is something there for not why he has to stand up and say, well, you have to do that. So why he doesn't have the balance to say what's the one person? Well, like wonderful. But I would feel it seemed to me that he doesn't learn the lesson. Where do I go? Where do I go? And I wonder unless maybe she thinks that I'm bad, whatever. And I feel like that's what I decided from here. So I said, we can't go to sleep. The thinking our kids. When little kids start learning school and busing, they are these are these are the leaders of these kids. They're supposed to be anonymous. This principal teachers and everyone can go to sleep with saying, well, you feel valuable. I try and go back and do your kids. My younger those two kids supposed to have the love to get side or down. So we just came last year for those. Actually, was going to get started out one of the best things to live in. But I think for those that are still here, and you guys do something. Actually,
Private. Check this. Still something. See, I'm not really problem. As far as I know, I don't remember. It's like, you can't. You now it's super new. You want through this. This film, this is one of the ones. And then see if it was, I don't know, maybe it's phone. Something, two of the guys, their wives. See people, talking about specific students. Calling forums is. So I would suggest this superintendent. I would suggest. Calendar. And in this to one of those.
the, and it's a, this is, we had forecast and here and move on this. Using on. They. That's the. Sit down and see what kind of, maybe that's what we are. Here you go there with this and it's. Serious. But. I really don't know about this quite really. Right. And I'm sorry that, yeah, that's. Well, maybe. Once we get identify students, if you notice here. Chinese, whether it's an employee or student or whatever, some reason, number. They. Legal. Yourself.
Sad to hear that the water would come up for work, for the rules and everything. Sad to hear that everybody just confirmed their kids. And just writing about it to become maybe the decision on the money or whatever it is. So. Just. Like.
Yeah.
But.
That's true. Volunteer, works.
The committee met during the meeting. We discussed, we discussed some of the information related to internet user reviews and there's additional information that we received. Under parallel policies, which so that comes to do with, the damage to school property and homes and women, computers and police and institution, potential for restitution, so there were rumors and policies, some conversations related to the community use of AEDs. And so the reason for that is that each time there was a veteran or school to have AEDs available on using one that using our facilities. Really, an AED as we was trained with the AED. So that's something that would be a top thing in terms of facility use. There's updates to Title IX regulations that will be going into effect this first. So we discussed some of them, these it seems like everything that was changing. So there will be some changes to the way they're teaching folks work online, investigations and before and anything. And some of it will take the rest of the funniest. But we also discussed and was on this as well. And we were nice with the insurance regarding student driving. And students driving on campus with other students in the farm. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of considerations going on with that. So some of that are like policies, And so, but dismissal is a little bit different, which is very like kind of you know, kind of worse and minus when you're not doing well or not around. So I don't know if you really feel the clear direction and how to remedy it. I think that there would be an ongoing conversation just because of the risk and liability if students are leaving home campus with students that can often routes to another campus. That's what the committee. Yeah, and then closed. I'm not sure it's been approved yet, so the everything has talked about, but then change was that it would be managed. And so I had to put that on chill, but that's in a really. Yeah, that is it already. So, for the state administration team that's, we review every year, with the different drill and, with the between them, and, we started planning, next year in terms of, opportunities for reunification. We'll be using the high school this year, in the fall. And then some planning just for upgrading radios, communication within the district. We talked to them, just different types of training opportunities that we would be doing. I will be attending, the first assessment training the trainer, with Dewey Cornell, who's responsible for, the assessment. In the end of July, I'll be going to that. And it's, we train on for assessment in the fall. But it was pretty much for review. And then the wellness committee meeting, actually was one, I, discuss the maybe the driving in terms of different things. So, yeah. So, and then yeah, released. Yep. Yeah, so for sure. Yes, so there's been a couple of different ways that I understand. And it's based on the student classroom space reaches 82 degrees. Not accounting for real feel, or city or anything like 82 degrees. You have to remember your, so that could be using the blinds, finding your and opening the window, whatever popular. And then just 88 degrees, the classroom needs to be evacuated and either relocated to a cooler space or we have to. So it's a class basis, on a regulation basis. And they I don't think they're estimated, but it did the traction that it did and basically it comes possible focus. So at this point, it's headed to the consideration, but we don't have a lot of air conditioned spaces in three of our buildings. So as you're not on the city side of the building, the temperatures in the classroom can rise. And things like humidity, dry air, and significantly to the main actually impact the person, but it's the temperature of red on the thermostat, we understand. We have
Right, it's still.
yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I mean.
It's really high.
So.
Yeah. Listen. Um. That's, right, the, do I have a motion to go to the executive session? Second, second. Just so everybody's aware. We can not, it's something discussion, the meeting is not necessarily. We need some discussions in executive session and those. When you return to the section. We don't know.